ambassador, a managing director, and a director of industry when you're a simple headmaster. It's a bit awe-inspiring to say the least. Secondly, I'm ex-army as well, so I'll keep my responses as brief as possible, because you don't want to hear me muttering on for an hour. But I've been in Morocco now for 6 years, and I've seen my school grow from 200 to 600 students in a short space of time. I've lived in 6 different countries, this country for 6 years, Germany for 10, Canada for 5, Bosnia and other places for a little bit less time. I feel more emotionally attached to this country now than I actually do to my own country of birth, like the United Kingdom. I'm regrettably having to go back to England to look after my 5 daughters, because Daddy needs to buy them presents. And what I've noticed in that short period of time is the fact that education is inextricably linked to getting our young adults out into the bigger, wider world. Morocco is a fabulous country, don't get me wrong, but it's not the end of the universe. So I've currently got 20 students from my school who are studying at some wonderful universities in the UK, Bath, UCL, Edinburgh. I do feel sorry for Natcha, who's up in Edinburgh, because I don't think she's ever been to Scotland before, and she's going to be witnessing the worst weather known to mankind. But ultimately, those students, those young adults, are living in a totally different country, and will be forming, hopefully, a deep bond and love for that country. And invariably, if they form that bond with that country and that deep love, then the links between the two countries grow ever, ever stronger. Just like my love for this country has grown over the last 6 years. So the works for me is to be working for those students. And so that's the first important thing. And I think the second most important thing is that it builds cultural understanding. Now, as somebody who's unafraidly a Christian, you know, one of my big concerns moving to Morocco is the fact that is it a strictly authoritarian Islamic state? It certainly isn't. It's one of the most beautifully pluralistic countries I've ever served in. And likewise, I've got students going across the UK thinking, okay, is it going to be okay for me? And they're finding exactly the same. I've got 60 nationalities at my school, all who mix as if it's just normality. When I was at school back in the 1930s, as far as I remember, it seems absolutely decades ago, I had one Chinese boy and one Ghanaian. So my outlook in the world was tiny, absolutely minuscule. And yet students at my school, I walked outside today, I had a Japanese girl mucking around with a Korean girl, mucking around with a very lunatic British girl who was literally just wearing a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, because that's what the British are like. All learning from each other. All learning about the weird eccentricities about education, about their culture, whatever. And that, for me, that's the best thing. It's great that they actually learn stuff in the lessons, but it's more important for me that they understand that somebody from Korea is no different from somebody from Morocco, is no different from somebody in the UK. They're all skin and bone under, and the fact is, getting those wonderful Moroccans, and they are absolutely fabulous, the ability to speak 3 languages is beyond comprehension, across to my country, to impart their unique perspectives on life, and obviously their love for football, which I, by the way, absolutely despise, but there we go. It is just a win-win-win situation for me.
Wonderful.